All right, today we're walking through going all the way from Harmony 1 onto an Avalanche subnet for DeFi Kingdoms. I have all of my Jewel currently staked in DeFi Kingdoms on Harmony. We're going to move it all the way over to the subnet and stake it there for their new Crystal token, which represents Crystal Vale, DeFi Kingdom's new expansion. This is really cool because it's one of the first really active subnets that's meant to be a full-fledged product. So I'm excited to see how it goes and see the speed of that. And we're going to talk through and watch how long it actually takes to do it and the steps needed to do it. So first things first, I'm on DFK and Harmony. Got all my jewels staked for X Jewel, which just gives me a portion of all fees generated by the DEX on DFK. So I'm going to unstake all that. Hello, cat. Yes. Thank you. All right, so we withdrew all of my jewel from the jeweler. It took about 15 seconds. Now we're going over to the docks, which is just their nice, cute way of making a bridge. Now we're going over to the multi-chain bridge, so we can go between Harmony and Avalanche. So we're losing about 1 jewel by doing that, just like $8. All right, so this swap's going to take between 10 and 30 minutes because it's cross-chain. So we'll come back in just a little bit, see how it's going. That was actually pretty quick. It took less than a minute. All right, so I accidentally did a step without you guys. And what I did was, once I bridged to Avalanche, then I went from Avalanche C-Chain, I did my multi-jewel because I used the multi-chain bridge, and I sent that to the DeFi Kingdoms jewel, and you can see that all happened here. This portion of the video lost audio, so I'm just going to re-record and talk you through what was actually happening. So at this point, we're swapping our jewel for X jewel so that we can farm because X jewel is the only LP available on the DFK subnet right now. What was really cool about this experience was how little I actually had to pay in gas fees in order to do this. And that's all because of the setup here of it being its own chain. There's nothing for it to compete with, and you're paying in jewel. So we'll see in a second when I actually hit swap how much we're going to pay for a swap on this network. And I think it's really going to showcase the power of subnets for Avalanche. All right, so we confirm that swap, and you can see it's 0.0028 joule. And a joule right now is worth about $10. So we're paying a fraction of a penny to submit this transaction with all of the security that comes with Avalanche. It's just not competing with the rest of the C chain. So it's incredible when we're paying dollars for a transaction on the C chain right now to see this possibility and inherit all of the positive parts of Avalanche is really incredible. What we'll also see is that the transaction goes through in just a matter of seconds. That's really not that different than what you see on the C chain, but it's really about that difference in cost and the fact that you're not competing with thousands of other unrelated transactions. So that transaction went through. It was a great, smooth experience. And then what we're going to do from here is go over to the Druid, which is where we actually pool our LP together. So right now you can get rewards by pooling X Jewel and Jewel, and combined those two things when put into a farm or the garden in DeFi Kingdoms chain, you're going to accrue Crystal as the drop, essentially, which begins tonight. And Crystal is that new token from DeFi Kingdoms that is going to power a lot of the activity that happens on the subnet or the DFK chain. So it's very potentially lucrative. We know how much activity DeFi Kingdoms has seen on Harmony. We think that with Avalanche as its main power, it's going to go even farther. So here we're reaching our final step. We're heading over to the gardens. We've already added our liquidity to the pool, and we're just putting it in the farm or the garden. And you can see at the top there, it says Crystal rewards haven't started yet. They start at 8 p.m., which at the time right now, it's about 1 hour away. I hope to put this video out shortly after. And from there, you're earning Crystal rewards. I don't have the details on how much exactly that is and what the value of that is. But we know that if you are interested in the longevity of DeFi Kingdoms and you believe in it as a project for GameFi, this is the way to earn their next big major token. And so you can see I just go through, quickly approve, deposit this farm. It's super smooth, super cheap. Again, all of my experiences on the DFK subnet, I was paying pennies or less for each transaction. So the fact that there's so many activities in DeFi kingdoms is really going to benefit from the DFK sidechain.